All right, 2:02 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to get this thing rolling. Thank you all in attendance again. If we got questions throughout, let's make it interactive. Hit me up in the chat. I don't care if you just want to make fun of my haircut, whatever it is, feel free to jump in. Brittany's going to jot some notes if I miss something. If I miss a question that comes in while I'm talking, she'll try to refresh at the end. So we'll get to as many of those as we can. And I'm excited to be here. So thanks for jumping in. All right, today what we're going to talk about, here's just an overview. Hopefully you guys are seeing my PowerPoint right now. We're going to talk to, what I think is the ideal process for using LB 2.0 and how to go about it. Talk about some of the challenges that we're currently facing and how we're going to tackle them. What 2024 and beyond looks like, and then what's in the works for really the end of 2023 and the start of 2024. Before I get into that, I got to do the obligatory why, and the closing deals with this program isn't the main reason. It's a nice bonus, but remember, documentation is 1, 2, and 3 on the list of importance here. Part lists don't allow you to effectively service and maintain a system. They also don't add much value to your business when it comes time to retire and sell the company. So drawings are imperative. Even if you're not using LB 2.0 to document your projects, just make sure it gets done. I don't care whether the project is 4 fixtures or 4,000. Document it. Now, some benefits of LB 2.0 over other platforms is that it's all cloud-based, right? So multiple users can access from any location with an internet signal. Plus it allows easy edits when things eventually change over paper. And we know almost every project changes, not just once, but multiple times. So the time it takes to document these projects and changes will pay for itself tenfold down the road. Document, document, document. So I got that lecture out of the way. Now let's talk about the process, some more of the benefits, and then just discuss some of the limitations and how we're attacking those. And I want to preference everything I'm about to say by letting you know that there are exceptions to every rule. But this conversation is going to focus on your typical residential project, which is usually somewhere in the $2,000 to $20,000 range. So process may differ on larger projects, but this is our typical sweet spot. So that's where I'm going to focus most of our energy. Now, having a good qualification process and open communication throughout the courtship is key here. I want to gather as much information as possible from the prospect before I physically meet them, so that I can be prepared to close while on site. Again, larger projects may require multiple trips, but the smaller the opportunity, the less time I want to spend in the design/proposal phase. Time is money, we know that. So I want to be really, really efficient with it. So either myself, my assistant, or my interactive web forms are gathering enough information to have 90% of the design prepped before I meet the client. So I know that I can use Google Earth to get an overhead image, which is free, or I can use more sophisticated softwares like Nearmap to get overhead images. Now, for anybody not familiar with Nearmap, I want to show you the difference between a Google Earth image. There's a Google Earth image of my house, of the front of it. Here's a Nearmap image of it. And this is where everybody types in the chat, wow. There's a big difference. Google Earth is taking satellite images. Nearmap is actually flying a plane over 98% of the continental US. Thank you, Mateo, I appreciate that. And doing this, depending on population density, 2 to 3 times a year. So you actually get seasonal changes inside of Nearmap. So if you're in a northern climate where the leaves fall, you'll be able to access 2 or 3 pictures, a summer picture, a winter picture, a fall picture. because obviously it helps like when there's not a big, large canopy covering the property. So Nearmap ain't cheap, but it does allow you to share the account with 5 or 6 people, depending on usage. So if anyone's interested in getting like a group together, just hit us up via email, chat, whatever, and we can kind of group you guys, and you can take a look at possibly grouping up for that. It's probably I'm ballparking Nearmap maybe cost 3-4 grand a year depending on usage. So it's not a bad idea to group that up if possible. Also, do not be afraid. Let me go back here. Don't be afraid to ask the client for photos or CAD drawings. If it allows them to get the proposal faster, like most are happy to oblige, and they typically like to be part of the process. So it's a great way to keep them engaged. Hey, snap a few photographs for me of the areas that are most important to you so I can have some face-on images, something updated. Keep them engaged. Like, it's not just, oh yeah, whatever you want, I'll be over in a few minutes and then hang over the phone, or I'll be over in a couple of days. Keep them engaged in the process. Not sure how many of you are aware, but there's actually a program out there called Groundwork that can help with that, help with data collection, help with client engagement. Groundwork is available now, but we're also in the process, of creating a similar program that's going to be available hopefully Q1 or Q2 of 2024. And the program that we're creating is going to tie into a CRM that we're developing, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, so more on that later. Now, regarding the actual design, a battle that I've always fought with designers, with contractors, is the desire to use the face-on view to create the whole proposal. I don't believe that to be best practice, because this isn't a rendering tool. It's a visualization tool. So yes, the face-on view, I'm using it to help explain my design intention and show how many light sources it actually takes to create a cohesive scene. But I'm only going to do that for 1 or 2 areas. And then if I go into the program, I click on my house visual. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the hide functionality. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this. I'm in the settings. I can either hide or remove all of these things from the proposal. So all of them with one button. So I can use this. Now none of them are in the proposal. I'm just showing them the visualization. So I can do that, or I can click on one by one and hit this button. This is hide from the proposal. So in this case, I'm going to hide this whole thing from the proposal. I'm going to hit save. If there's a time where this whole thing is going to come crashing down, now's probably the time. Plus FPL is out my back door. Who knows if they're going to shut me down. So I pulled all of that stuff out of the proposal, and then I'm using my overhead view to create the quote itself. So this is an overhead view. I can show 1, 2, 3 images, face-on images. However, this is my overhead view, how I created the actual numbers. And then what I can do is I can combine these so that they all sit on one quote. So I'm not sure how many of you have used this project documentation button down here at the bottom, but this allows me to combine images together to create one proposal. So in this case, I'm just going to combine the front yard overhead and this house visual. I'm going to hit combine, and notice I have all of these. I can make that proposal look essentially however I want it. We can take client signatures now here. If I want to create a work order and a purchase order, which I'll talk about later, I can do that here. If I want to hide the design, I can do that here. But I can combine these together. Fingers crossed this works again. Whenever I'm doing something like this, it's Murphy's Law that something's going to crash. And now my document sits here. So let me view this PDF. I want to show you guys what this looks like. It's also going to show you another feature I'm not sure that all of you have seen. So it's going to show you our pre-proposal PDF. That's what we call it. Pre-proposal PDF, which is just sort of an overview about our company. This is a very generic one that we have created that for all of you to use, all of you pro users to use. However, I highly recommend you get with your graphics team, your marketing team, whoever, and create this for yourself, personalize it for yourself. You know who's really good at it? Pete Bryant, who I'm sure is listening right now. If you've got his cell phone, just bombard him with questions until he eventually answers. Pete's really good at it, sort of the inspiration behind this, but this can pop up and I'll show you where to insert that in the back end of LB 2.0. But we can have all of this information pop up before our actual proposal. See, I've got my overhead view. Then I've got my face on view. I've got my terms and conditions where I can take a signature and as much or little information on the proposal itself as I want to show. Okay, so make sure that you're messing around with that functionality and get good at combining proposals, because every image that we have in there essentially creates its own proposal. It's just how the program works. You can combine them all to make it look however you want it to look. Okay, talked about my pre-proposal PDF. You know, I'll switch gears a little bit in saying that a picture, you know, picture's worth 1,000 words. So the proposal imagery is important, but the portfolios are just as important too. So get those things right. I'm just seeing way too many crappy smartphone pictures out there. So spend the dough, get a pro out to shoot some of your best projects, or a little shout out to Illy. They're having a photography course. It's like a 2.5 or 3 day photography course in March. And that's probably a better game plan of attending something like that, because nighttime photography is a skill onto itself. So get those portfolios right. It'll pay off dividends in the long run. Good, better, best. And I put this in the presentation because it's a question I get a lot, and a discussion I see a lot. Should I be doing a good, better, best proposal? And if so, should I break it down via fixture or by design? Now, before I give my thoughts on that, I'll let you know that you can do it both ways in LB 2.0, and I'll show you how. So if you want to do it via the design, what I can do, so I get out of this. If I want to do it via the design, I've got a little clone button here. Okay, so this is my clone area. I can clone, I can call it front yard good. So let's just say the first one was best. So I'm cloning front yard good. Here it sits now. I go back into my design, and now I can add or subtract it as I like. And what I'll probably do in the near future, what we'll work on, and my development team is on this call, so hopefully I'm not making promises I can't keep. But what we'll probably do is a drag tool that allows you to like do a drag box over multiple fixtures, so you don't have to do it individually. But right now, essentially, you can either delete or hide individual fixtures. So I pull that one out of the proposal. I pull this one out of the proposal. Obviously, this is totally random, but I'm subtracting fixtures to do a good, better, best via design. Okay, so it's a sort of a similar process to do it via fixture type. Unfortunately, in fixture type, I can't just hit a button and have all the fixtures like magically upgrade from drop-ins to integrated or from static to RGBW. But what I can do is clone the project again, and then let me show you in the proposal section. I can use this upgrade or downgrade section to add a percentage or discount a percentage. So let's just say that I knew that RGBW fixtures are going to cost 50% more. My RGBW fixtures cost 50% more than my static ones. Okay, so I added 50%, and I put in my notes here in my notes section, upgrade to RGBW. Okay, so that's how I can do that via fixture type. It's using this upgrade and downgrade. It allows me to do it pretty fast, and this whole thing is built on speed. Now, having said all that, if you set the proper expectations, I believe you only need to give one proposal, and that's the best. And it's because the best is what you strive for. It's what they deserve. And it's the expectations that you've set during qualifying. And because you're in front of them, it's actually a cool graphic, Brittany. Because of you're in front of them while you're doing it, not hiding behind an email, you're going to address any concerns and remove any areas that they can't afford or just don't want to tackle right now. You can even pull a Nels Peterson and punish them for the downgrades. He'll actually print all of this out and use a red marker, which is like nails on a chalkboard, to remove the sections they don't want. I feel like it's in our client's best interest that they don't skip. So he makes doing it really painful. I haven't quite figured out how to add the red marker feature into LB 2.0 yet. So yeah, Kartik, get on that. Now, if you do want to give them options, and people love options, I like giving people options, and it's your standard residential project, just break it up front and back. That gives us front, back, or all of it. That's 3 options. Like, that's all the options you need. I would never, ever do it via fixture, quality, or type. You're the expert, and you've determined which products are ideal to create the project. They don't have enough knowledge or experience to get a say in that. So that's my opinion. I've been wrong before. I don't think I am in this instance. So next, creating as-built after we've sold the job. We're going to use the bottom widgets now to dial in all of our lamp specs and the legend to dial in our accessories. So what does that look like? I'm going to go back into the design. And actually that graphic did a pretty good job of showing it. But yeah, if I'm clicking on a fixture, these are all of my bottom widget here. I can show exactly my beam spread. Pro users, we have to fill in this data in the back-end portal. This doesn't magically show up. There's no goblin that just knows exactly what products you're using. So you got to take the time to input this information into the system so that we can create a true as-built with, my beam spreads, my wattages, my Kelvin temps. So all of that is, not right now, Brittany. Brittany was asking if there's a way to mass upload that via spreadsheet. Thanks for pointing that out, that I don't think we have that functionality. So appreciate that, marketing director. This is where we dial in those specs. And then I'm going to go up here. Not sure how many of you have seen the legend or play with the legend, but this is where I can actually add accessories. I can put accessories into my back end and make those accessories available on certain items. So like, I don't have accessories set up for all these items. Some of them I just haven't taken the time to set it up. But like here, this micro brass floodlight, I can select a 12-inch riser, a 24-inch riser, whatever our accessories are that we've put into the back end. And you can make it product specific. So it's not like I don't know, you have a random accessory that is totally irrelevant to this fixture. You can make them product specific. Right? So there's a legend there. And now we even have the ability to jot notes in an area. So double click on this and just say, I don't know, conduit here. So I can save notes now too into my system. When doing throughout this whole process, I still encourage the use of flags to dial in exactly where the fixtures should be placed. So the layouts are more of a service and a maintenance tool. Another feature here is the work order. And the work order is different than the proposal because it gives information to my techs and the installers that homeowners don't need to see, or our prospects don't need to see. So it shows all of that information, everything we put in the legend or the accessories, the notes we made, it shows all of that to my techs, to my team, but it doesn't show it to the prospect. So it does that via a legend, a drop down. So this is number one. It will correspond all of those to the map. Then if adjustments need to be made during the install, we're actually creating a feature so that project managers can access all the projects through the portal. And this is a sample backend portal. It's for one of our rep firms. But you can see all the projects. Just right now, we don't have a way to click on that project and edit. So development's working on that as we speak, and we're going to make permissions so that people can have certain levels of access, because we don't necessarily want everybody to have access to all projects. So we've got different permission levels that we're continuing to work on. So if anybody has thoughts, suggestions, ideas, recommendations for that, let us know. Also, for those of you who don't know, we can create a purchase order too for this, and it's all done automatically. So a purchase order can be created, and that can be shared with either your supplier or just your purchasing manager. So the ability to do work orders, purchase orders, those are different than our proposals. What challenges are we facing right now? Well, other than the hesitation for people to, buy too many iPads and hand them out to their team members and keep those iPads charged, signal strength is probably our biggest challenge, because it's great that this program is cloud-based. I mean, awesome. All of those adjustments, all of those communications are done in real time. But being cloud-based also presents a challenge, because you're not always going to have a great internet connection. Now we have created this error message to alert you when you have a crappy signal, so that you don't try to save and get like that never spinning wheel, which is like the internet's equivalent to the middle finger. But the data still needs to go through the cloud in order to process. So we're looking at ways to tackle that in 2024. Right now, these messages are the best way that we've done it. But we'll continue to put an emphasis, or we're going to put an emphasis on that in 2024. All right, my favorite section here, sort of like what we have in the works. What I see coming down the pipe as well. First of all, new rebate program in 2024. I'm not sure how many people here know that we actually sell products too. It's just not software. We don't make any money from this software, and the pro users, either pay $60 a month or $600 a year. Like, that ain't a money maker. We make our money from products, and that is how we afford to develop this. And that's what we want to keep doing. We want to keep developing this and building it out. So that's a no-brainer for everybody. But we're going to have a rebate program based for the pro version based on how much you buy a product. So this is what the rebate program looks like. 10 to 25K, you're getting a 25% rebate back. 25 to 50, you're getting 50% back in form of rebate, and 50K plus, you're getting all of it back in the form of a rebate at the end of the year. I think most of you are very serious lighting designers, 50 grand. Most of you are doing well into six figures, 50,000 bucks. It's a drop in the bucket to most of you from a product standpoint. So we appreciate the support there. That's how this gets paid for. So I have to bring it up and mention it. And that's why we're putting in this rebate program, because we want everybody to upgrade to pro. And we really want everybody to upgrade to pro because in order to do this, that free version is going away on Jan 1. So all you freeloaders out there, if you want to keep using it, we're going to have to pony up. So that free version is turning into a 30-day trial. After that, you're no longer going to have access to the program after 30 days unless you upgrade. Also, we've streamlined the pro version. So the changes and upgrades now are done across the board. So we used to have to make changes to each account individually, but with the program's popularity, that wasn't sustainable. So we changed the entire infrastructure over the last couple of months to make it seamless. And that's going to be the same thing for the upgrade to pro, which used to take us 4 or 5 days. Now it happens immediately. Finally, by the end of Q1, maybe even by the end of this year, all pro users are going to be able to use, there you go, Kartik. All pro users are going to be able to use the iOS app. We weren't able to do that before because you had to set up a app permission through Apple Store. And I don't know how many of you developed apps, but it's a royal pain in the butt to get approved in the Apple Store. So the amount of information that you have to give, it takes, 3 to 6 months to get one app approved. So now we have that one app approved and we're able to do it across the board. So you'll be able to download an app now, not just go to the website and use it. The functionality is essentially going to be the same, but it'll just be a little bit more seamless, a little more efficient. All right, in the works for sort of Q2, 3, and 4 of 2024. I mentioned that we're developing a CRM that's specific to you guys. And that's not only going to come with typical CRM features, but also a full integration to LB 2.0. So we don't have to do double data entry, because right now, those of you who are using a CRM are doing double data entry. You got to put this information in LB 2.0 and in your CRM. You won't have to do that anymore if you use both programs. It's also coming with a robust way to communicate with the prospects, mainly via SMS text messaging. And we know people are really comfortable nowadays, whether we like it or not. People are really comfortable nowadays just sitting here on their phone and kind of communicating back and forth. So, that program groundwork makes it pretty easy, and we're going to build upon that and make it just as easy too. Also, it's going to have the ability to track a sophisticated lead gen program that we're going to be offering to select clients. So the CRM is going to be available to all, but for obvious reasons, we're only going to be able to offer the lead gen to one client per specific area. So we're doing some case studies on that as we speak to prove out that concept. Assuming that it's successful, and we're in the beta phase right now, we'll release more information as Q1 concludes. So what does the future of lighting look like? And there's a ton to keep us excited and engaged, throughout the next decade, certainly in the LB 2.0 technology. But I've been thinking about that question a lot lately. And what does the future of landscape lighting look like? And I had a friend, sort of a business mentor, asked me, well, how long till homeowners can just go down to Home Depot with a couple of pictures and upload that information to their system, and they can spit out a rendering and a proposal right there. And I said, well, they don't have to go to Home Depot because our clients' websites will be able to do that in the not too distant future. There's a lot that we have to be prepared for. Like AI is going to change the experience into one that I believe can be harnessed and leveraged to create a virtually frictionless, and that's becoming a kind of a buzzword, frictionless experience for both the designers and clients. Like, how long, just for an example, like how long till we can take this LiDAR 3D imaging on our iPhones and start scanning our clients' properties with it? Or take it a step further, like how long till it becomes so easy that they can do it? And they can take that, upload it to our website, answer a couple of questions, and then an AI algorithm can spit out a rendering and a proposal within seconds. Like, the ability to do 3D walkthroughs with VR goggles already exists. How long till that becomes virtually instantaneous? And whether we like it or not, change is inevitable. But even if AI is going to do much of the design work, like, somebody's still going to have to teach it, which to me makes knowledge and experience and education more important than ever. So another reason to get your portfolios right, because AI could be learning from those pictures too. So I think it's just imperative now more so than ever to continue to invest in the education programs like COLD at AOLP and ILLI, to stay ahead of that curve, because in my opinion, it's that intimate knowledge of the intersection between lighting, emotion, and functionality that's going to be the true separator moving forward. So those are my thoughts. Anyone have any questions on, the LB 2.0 process, my opinions, where we think things are going? I'm listening here. I did my 30 minutes. Now I want to hear what questions you guys have so we can dive into those. Or I just did such a great job of hitting on it all that we can all go to the golf course right now. I nailed it. Okay. Are you able to manage your team's projects? So as I mentioned, I can go into the back-end portal. I have to find my chat, by the way. Where is my chat? My messages. Bear with me a second. There it is. All right. That was pretty funny, Mateo. How do we manage projects? Okay, back-end portal. This is how I can see what is happening with my projects. And again, I can set up permissions so that my team can see as little information or as much information as I want them to see. But this is how we manage projects, is the back-end portal. And remember, LB 2.0 has two sites essentially. There's the front end, which is the design side of it, which is this, wherever that's going. And then the back end, which is where we add all of our products, categories, accessories, all of this stuff, and can manage our projects. So we see it all on the back end. As I mentioned, we're going to work on ways for someone like a project manager to be able to click on a project and make edits into all of them. As of now, you got to go into the front end and have your own login to the front end to make edits. So that's a good question. That's where we're going with that in early Q1. All right, Mateo, will a CRM integration work for any CRM software? Also, is there any promos to pro subs for being on this webinar? I don't know, Brittany, we're going to do any promos for sitting through and listening to me for 30 minutes? Is that what you're asking? Was it that painful, Mateo? That's a good question. We may. All right, Brittany's already said yes. So the CRM integration, we absolutely can integrate into any CRM. That's going to cost you money. To integrate to our CRM, no, that's not going to cost anything extra. But if you want to talk about an integration to the specific CRM you're using, we can absolutely do it. There's just a cost associated with it. I mean, I don't know how many people are on this thing, 60, 70, like there's probably 40 different CRMs that are being used. So we're not at the financial standpoint where we can just connect to all of them. But yes, we have the ability, as long as they have an open API, we have the ability to connect. Jerry asks, when is the yearly rebate applied? It's applied at the end of the year. So we'll just do our year ends. So December 31st, January 1st. That'll when it will be applied. Kartika, answer the question. Can you make group changes of color temp instead of editing each cone separately? As of now, individually. Moving forward, as we mentioned, we're going to be looking at ways to create that drag and drop, that drag box, where we can do multiple fixtures at once. So not just hide multiple fixtures, change the bead spread, change the color, change different things in it. So right now it's individual. Moving forward, we're looking to do groupings. Good question there. I'll give it about 2 more minutes. All right, so can each user other than the admin enter their own SKUs for a proposal in the pro version, or is that just a function of the admin? It's mainly a function of the admin. So there's a miscellaneous SKU that can be used that anybody can use and name whatever they want. So that's a good question. Let me open that up. Let me go into the design area. Actually, I'll go into the proposal area. And this is some cool functionality under other products. We can add a new product and we can name it whatever we want. So that's how an individual can do it if that product isn't in the back end. They can add a new product right there on the front end. So I don't think I answered it correctly. The answer is they can. It doesn't go in the design, but it will go in the proposal. Then it would be up to the admin or whoever the admin has given access to add that product in so that the whole team can use it moving forward. But if somebody needs to use a one-off product, this is how they would do it. All right, can you add the lighting to just a line drawing of a bird's eye view of a project? Okay, so what I think you're asking, Chuck, is just, can I go into night mode from the top down? Sure. It's just the click of a button to go into night mode. I think that's what you're asking. This is night mode, then I go in and adjust all of these cones and everything as necessary. Yada, yada, yada. I can also, now, this is a cool feature. Now I can turn off individual light cones. I didn't have that option before, so I can turn off individual light cones. I see this more relevant for audio, actually. Like if I'm setting up speakers, I can kind of show a top-down view and show where I want those speakers to shoot. But you know, it doesn't mean it's not relevant for lighting too. But this can be used for audio. I think I got even a speaker section in here already. So I hope that answered the question, Chuck. Yes, it can. It's just this night mode here. Who's Andy? Hey, Andy. He's got the answer. Jerry, yeah, I think Mateo asked that question about how does it integrate with some of the other existing systems. Again, right now it doesn't. It's going to integrate with ours. automatically. But if somebody wants to, or a group of people that use Jobber and don't want to switch over to our platform, which is again going to be industry specific, so it's going to be better. It's probably going to be less expensive than these other platforms for you guys. Stop asking me these questions, Jerry. I'm trying to make something better for you, but it's a good question. Again, right now it doesn't, but we can make almost any integration, especially Jobber and House Call Pro, happen because they do have open APIs and they integrate with other products. So the way that would look is that, again, you're looking at doing the design in LB 2.0, press of a button, and then the pictures, the proposal is moving into House Call Pro, and you're able to present the proposal that way. And that's any CRM. That's how our CRM is going to look. And the products are going to talk to each other so that you can do import export with products too. But again, the database structure, like how we do it, is a little different than how most CRMs do it, especially with how we set up the ability to change beam spread, wattage, color temp. So that's different than most of your CRMs look. So most of them are just kind of done on a SKU by SKU basis. We have the ability to take one SKU and then build on to that one SKU. So it's going to look different, but we can integrate to anything. If you don't want to switch when we do this CRM, if you want to stick with what you got, it'll just cost some money. Yeah, Andy, I was kidding. I know you are. Did Shoop wake you up this morning? I told him to. All right, is there a specific format the images need to be in, JPEG or PNG? I don't know if we can upload. Hey, Kartik, can we upload PNGs? Yeah, it's built for JPEGs. Chuck, so I'll wait for Kartik to answer that. Oh, okay. Okay, JPEG or PNG. And many of you know you can take, a PDF through Photoshop and turn it into a JPEG or PNG. And I'm sure there are other programs out there that do it too. So yes, Jerry, you can upload any image into the program via JPEG or PNG. If it's a CAD drawing, you can convert that CAD into a JPEG via Photoshop or other programs. So yes, literally any image that we can take a picture of or screenshot of, anything we can draw on top of. So that's a good question. My favorite is using CAD drawings for the overhead view. They just, you're over there in Southern California where everybody's got a landscape architect. Not everybody's got a landscape architect in, St. Louis, Missouri. So they aren't always available. But great question. Yes, anything that you can take a screenshot of, a picture of, turn into a JPEG, yep, can be uploaded. I know, Jerry. QuickBooks, if only QuickBooks were more robust. I don't even know what you just said there, Scott. What's Morpholio? Speak in layman's terms, buddy. I should probably unmute you. I'm not going to. Anybody got anything else? These are a lot of good questions. Give you another 30 seconds. All right. Oh, Kartik, you know everything. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it today. Brittany, you're welcome, Jerry. Thanks for attending. Brittany, who do we want them to contact? I'm going to type in my email address into this forum right now. X-Force. So it's just ryan@lighting-boss.com. Hit me up. This is what I love to talk about. Don't ask me lead time on your Lumion fixture. I don't know, but I'll talk about this. So appreciate everybody. You guys have a great day. Peace out. Ryan@lighting-boss.com.